peeps, how we doing? Good morning to everyone, wherever you are, afternoon, evening. So I'm just going to get you up on the computer behind. So today's Mission 500 tips is about your wrist seat, which is a beginner move. Like it's sort of the, for me, it's like the top end of the beginner moves that we do. And there's so many little mistakes that happen with this move that I see. So I wanted to share with you with that. Also, there's start that again. There's a few ways that people teach this, and as always, I wouldn't say it's necessarily wrong. Some things will help you with other moves, some things and some other ways will help you with others, if that makes sense. I'll show you and explain what I'm talking about. And of course, there's one particular way that probably won't help you with anything, which I see quite a lot. So I wanted to go through that with you. Facebook's being funny. It's dark. Like, I don't even think it's awake yet. I woke up this morning, I feel like it's still black. Anyway, welcome to our new members. Just wanted to give you guys a shout out. Oh my God, I can't believe we're nearly reached the end of September. What would we say, the 29th? Only literally, was it tomorrow? 30th, I think it's just 30th, isn't it? Cool, okay, so who have we got going on here? So welcome Anna, welcome Sam, they've joined the Mission 500. Welcome Lisa. Lisa actually joined Mission 500, both of them, and so she's now decided to become a full member. So welcome, lovely, super excited for you to get stuck in. And we had Cassandra who joined our program yesterday, so amazing. Excellent. Okay, let me know if you're here. So like I said, so that's a little bit of a shout out to you guys. Oh, and I forgot to shout out to some stars. I think Kathy West is leading the stars this month. I think she's got at least 5 on there, five donation of stars. Thanks guys for all the love. I really appreciate it. So anyway, today's help is with the wrist seat, okay? And I know with everything, when we're learning new move, you can only consume so much information. And so sometimes you have to repeat over and over again, which is why repeating is really beneficial, because you'll keep grasping little bits of information that you didn't grasp the first time round. And this is definitely one that happens with wrist seat. So I'm going to show you what the wrist seat looks like. I haven't got you on Facebook yet because, you know, I think it's being funny. Am I even here? Who knows? Maybe I've just talked for the sake of it. What's new? Oh no, I'm here. It's okay. Alrighty. Excellent. Okay, I can't see anybody commenting or anything. So I'm assuming it's too dark and, you know, it's too early for people. That's okay. Watch the replay. Hashtag replay. Let me know you're watching. So wrist seat. So I'm going to show you how I do a wrist seat. I actually teach it two very slightly different ways, depending on what people struggle with the most. So this is one that I usually help with people in our program, so they can join coaching. I'll explain coaching, what coaching is tomorrow in tomorrow's live. That's what we've got coming up. But anyway, so I'll show you and then I'll break it down. By the way, I've got my nice fluffy socks on today. Oh yeah. Okay, so wrist seat, let's go. Okay, so that's a wrist seat. So we come into a sit, and then you want to get your legs up high. Now, some people will teach to tilt and place the hand down, sort of next to their leg. That's not to say that's wrong, but what I will say is with pull, there's always tends to be a pull and a push, okay? So when you understand what's pulling and what's pushing, it'll make sense to you. What won't make sense to you if you don't understand that concept. So think about everything you do, okay? What's pulling, what's pushing, because that tends to be what's holding you on the pole. This is what I see a lot of, okay? So this is a common mistake. Okay? So we're kind of not pulling or pushing. It's not as effective as it could be, okay? So what we want to aim for is the legs to come up. Why? The higher the legs can come up, the more you're going to push that butt into the pole, you're going to feel more secure. So your hands are pulling, your butt is pushing. If your legs don't come up and you just widen them, what's pushing? Nothing. So you'll feel like you're going to spin and you'll probably end up sliding, okay? So that's probably the most common mistake I see, is not lifting the legs, okay, before taking the hand underneath. So you always want to come into a sit. So I always do a tuck first, okay? So I did a straddle then, but when you start as a beginner, tucking can be really helpful because it shifts your weight back. So what I was saying, you know, with the legs up, it gets your butt in. The more we can lean further back, so everything's this side of the pole, including your legs, the better it's going to look, the more secure you're going to feel, okay? Let's go with common mistake number 2. Top arm is wrapped around the back of the pole like this, okay? Because as we've talked about before, if we had a look at our yesterday, how to stop yourself spinning in your skater, similar process. You want this wrist the same side as you. If you've got your wrist wrapped around the back so it's in a bent position, you're going to find that you're going to turn and you're just going to feel like, woo, okay? Just a bit wobbly and not stable. So make sure your wrist is this side of the pole. So let's go through the steps, okay? So I'm going to go through with legs straight up, hand directly in the middle of the back, or the middle of the butt, should I say. And then you can do also one where your hand is more to the side of your butt, okay? Right or wrong? Not necessarily, like I was saying, there are pros and cons to both. If you are obviously with a silicone pole, you can grip with whatever you've got on. When you're using a metal finish pole and you've obviously got your bottoms on, your shorts, then you're obviously going to have clothing there. You're not going to get as an effective grip, okay? So this is where sometimes you may prefer to come to the side. So let's cover both, right? So come into a seat. I'm going to move my hands down to around chest level, and I'm going to straighten the bottom leg first. And then I'm going to lean back. And as I lean back, I'm lifting the legs up. And then I'm going to straighten, so they're crossing at the ankle. And I'm lifting as high as I can. I cannot push that butt in anymore. Now, common mistake number 3, hands are way up here. You can't lift the legs any higher. You start to slide, okay? So think about getting your legs down. Sorry, not your legs down. Your hands down at chest level. And when you lean back, you've got to get those legs up quicker, okay? So mistake number, what are we on, 4, 5? Mistake number 5, what tends to happen, people have their hands down and then they slowly start to straighten their arms, but they don't bring their legs up. So they end up just sliding down still. So at the same time your hands come down, your legs need to go up as you lean back, so we get this triangle position, okay? This V position on the pole. Has anybody got questions so far? Hey Tanisha, how you doing? It's lovely to have you here. Knew you'd be up this time in the morning. Cool. So does that make sense? We have to get into that V. If those legs don't come up quick enough, you're going to slide every single time. So get those legs up, up, up. Like you couldn't get them up any higher, right? So, hands down, legs up as I lean back, pulling the shoulders back. If you round your back, you tend to just slide again. So think about pulling the shoulders back, trying to flatten the back. One hand underneath the butt, okay? So the legs have to go up first before taking the hand underneath. Why? If you're here and then take your hand underneath and then lean back, now your thumb's trapped. Now you're stuck and you're like, oh, I can't get down, okay? Get those legs up. Get the butt on the pole. So that you can't trap your hand, okay? Cool. Okay, we're covering quite a bit with this one. There's quite a few common mistakes. So legs are up, then hand goes underneath. Shoulders are back. We're trying to get as lovely straight lines as possible, okay? Work on that position. To be honest, if you work through our structured lessons, our foundation lessons, which are actually part of this Mission 500, you've only got like a day or 2 left, we actually start with what I call a basic martini, which basically is that V position, and then you can bend one leg. So it looks like this. Okay, this is what I call a basic martini, and it will prep you to make sure you get in the right position for your wrist seat. That's why it's in there, okay? Once you're happy and you can get into that position every time, then you can move your hand down. But squeeze those shoulders back, okay? It makes a huge difference to being able to push that button into the pole. So once you've got your hand underneath, I'm going to start to bend the knees. Why? Because you'll feel a little bit more stable in a tucked position. You'll also find it easier to bring your knees towards your shoulders, where otherwise if you keep them straight, you just be like, ooh, a little bit wobbly here. So we're going to tuck first. Okay, so bend, open the knees, push the butt in, knees towards the shoulders first, feel stable, then you can start to straighten your legs when you feel happy. Okay, cross back around high, release the bottom hand, then you come down. Okay, always pull yourself up. Does that make sense? Can you now understand why you've got to get the legs up and how to push the butt in? Why your lines are really important? Why you can't just wing yourself into it? I mean, lots of people do, and you may get to a certain point, but then you really need to understand what's pulling, what's pushing to help you progress into other moves. Now, some people are like, oh my God, no, you can't do that. Like, you know, you've got to tilt to the side. No, you don't. I've clearly shown that you can do it that way. It's quite a safe way. However, the other way you can do it is tilting, and you can get more of a butt grip, okay? So rather than having the pole sort of in between the butt and you're basically relying on your wrists, you can also obviously use your wrists, but we're also going to use a bit of thigh, okay, or your butt. And this is actually going to help you for like the advancement onto this, okay, which is your like no wrist one, okay. Some people call it a violator. I call it a straddle, okay, a tail sit straddle. So that's what can help you with this. So what we're going to do is we're going to sit and we're going to tilt, but we're still going to push the legs up. So I'm going to face you with this one, just so you can have a look at my bum. Why not, right? So I'm going to tilt, and I really want, instead of the pole in between, I'm actually going more of the butt cheek, okay? So you can literally pull your shorts up your bum and get that skin grip on the pole, right? So sit, I'm going to tilt, and as I'm tilting, I'm going to straighten my legs up to the side, nice and high. Can you see now the pole is more on the butt as I place my hand underneath? Still the same process, you still tuck, and now you can see like my tailbone is off the pole, and then you can straddle. So I'm pushing that thigh in. So I'm still getting that push in, whether it's like the middle of my bum or whether it's the side, whichever you feel more comfortable with. A lot of people may feel more comfortable with the butt cheek. You're not on your coccyx for one. So go with that. There's no necessarily right or wrong way with that one. Whatever feels comfortable and good for you to do. And like I said, it really depends on what you're going to transition into as well, whether you need to be in an upright position. Does that make sense? So for example, if you were doing a wrist seat and then you're going to cross your legs back over and release the bottom hand, you could go into a cross ankle release or a layback, right? Which would be perfect because you need the pole to sit in between. Maybe you're going into like a martini or a Z seat, so threading the legs through, you'll want to be to the side. Do you know what I mean? So it really depends what else you're going into, depends which method will be better. Does this make sense, peeps? Make sense? All good here, Tanisha, thank you so much. All is good. I was just saying how dark it is this morning, like really dark, like it's still pitch black, and I don't like it. I don't think my computer's awake properly, if I'm awake properly. Anyway, so hopefully this makes sense to you about the tilt. So we've gone through quite a bit of common mistakes with the wrist seat, but whether you tilt more or upright, completely up to you. Just make sure that you're leaning back and you get your knees towards your shoulders first to get that push that you need, yeah? So like I said, the advancement onto that, you can obviously do your violator or your tail sit straddle. So if I show you that, you will need the tilt to get the thigh on, okay? So this time, the only difference is I'm not going to place my hands underneath. So it is more of an advancement, and you do need to make sure that you're super strong in lifting those legs up because that's what's holding you on. So from here, okay, tilting to the side still. I'm just going to keep my legs up, then you can tuck still. I still haven't put my wrist underneath, and then straddle. So I'm pushing my butt in. Can you see how it's important to lift the legs up really super high to get that push? Which is why it's really important to learn this as a beginner, learning your wrist seat, that technique, because it's going to help you with more advanced moves. All right, hopefully this helps you. Get stuck, let us know. Of course, you've got the structured membership if you want to progress through the levels and work on all the prerequisites and everything else you need. If you need more input, okay, book a call with me. Let's see if the program's a really good fit for you, or maybe it's not a good fit for you and we've got something else. So for example, yesterday we had a couple of calls booked in, and you know, one of them wasn't a good fit for the program. Just wasn't, you know, having that structured layout wasn't for her. She wanted to pick and choose. So we've made something that worked for her. So that's what I'm saying is, like, book a call. Let's have a chat exactly what you'll need, rather than just hoping for the best. Okay, right, have a fabulous day, my lovelies. I will speak to you soon, or see you tomorrow.